This
First,
conference
what
will
is the
now be
meaning of
recorded.
frames of reference? Next, okay, see the definition of frames of reference. It is nothing but the frame relative to which the position or the motion of the body is specified is called the frame of reference. Okay, so in order to derive or in order to describe the motion of a body, we need a frame of reference. See examples below. When you see a ball roll down a street, you can tell the ball is moving because the frame of reference is the street, whatever may be on the other side of the road or the earth. Okay, so if you consider a ball which is rolling down on a street, so what is on which like object is what ball, and street is what frame of reference. So according to road, because road is constant, okay, so relative to, we can say the word relative. Okay, here relative to the road, we are saying that ball is rolling down on a street. Okay, so the street is nothing but frame of reference. So that is frame of reference. One more example, see, when we walk from one side of the ship to the other, our frame of reference is the ship. Okay, where we are walking on the ship. So we can say that we are from walking from one side to the other side. So there we have frame of reference. If there is no frame of reference, okay, suppose you say that one car is moving, it travels some distance, again it is traveling some distance, we don't know the distance also. Okay, so how we decide that the car is moving? Like how can we decide the position of the car? Uh, we don't know starting point and we don't know the final point. Okay, initial and final points are unknown. So there we can't say that it is frame of reference. So that is the importance of frame of reference. Why we are using the frame of reference? Okay, so frame of reference is nothing but relative to which we can decide the motion of the object. Okay, so that is frame of reference. Next, we are having two types of frames. First one is inertial and another one is non-inertial. Okay, next, sir. So we are having two types of frame of reference. One is inertial and another one is non-inertial. So here inertial means you are having one word inertia. Okay. So where we have that word in Newton's first law. Okay. Newton's first law is also known as law of inertia. Okay. We discussed in like second lecture, I think, Newton's laws. So in that the first law of Newton is known as the law of inertia. Inertia is nothing but force. Okay, it is force. So Newton's first law states that if the object is at rest, which it remains at rest, or if the object in motion, it is in motion. Okay, until unless we apply some external force. Okay, if the object is at rest, it will be staying at rest until we apply some force to move it. Okay, if the object is in motion, we need we also need to stop the object. We also need the force to stop the object when it is in motion. So that is Newton's first law. So here inertial frame, in inertia, why it is called inertial frame means in the frame in which the Newton's first law holds true. Okay, so in inertial frame, Newton's first law is true. So that means it obeys Newton's first law. So that's why we call this frame of reference as inertial frame of reference. Okay, so that is uh, inertial frame of reference. Okay, example C, Newton's law work in the physics lab, which is fixed to the earth. Therefore, they also work in the train. moving with constant velocity with respect to the earth. So what do we mean by this example? See, so if we have Newton's laws, so there is no rule that it works only the physics lab. Okay, wherever you want it to apply, you can apply the Newton's laws. Okay, in a moving train also you can apply Newton's law, which is the train is moving with a constant velocity. So that is the meaning of this example. So this is example for inertial frame of reference. Okay. So in inertial frame of reference, what you have, it obeys the Newton's first law, and Newton's first law is nothing but law of inertia. That is the reason we call this frame as inertial frame of reference. Next we have non-inertial frame of reference. So what is non-inertial frame of reference? Uh, Opposite to inertial frame of reference. Okay, opposite to means it is obeying the Newton's first law. Next, sir, and non-inertial frame of reference, it does not obey Newton's first law, or we can say the in the frame of reference in which Newton's first law is invalid. Okay, it's called non-inertial frame of reference. It would be any accelerating object. Okay, so in next slide we'll see the difference between these two. In that I will explain you about accelerating object. Okay, the acceleration should not be zero or negative. So in non-inertial frame, what happens here? Uh, there we learned that we have constant velocity. Okay, constant velocity means it is at rest. Here it would be any accelerating object. Means here object is moving in non-inertial frame of reference. So the acceleration should not be zero. So as the object is accelerating, it possesses some acceleration, some amount of acceleration. So that acceleration should not be zero or negative. Okay, it may be any number, but it should not be zero or negative. It must be positive only. Okay, so see the example. You sitting on an accelerating train watching two boys run. You are non-inertial frame of reference in that case. Okay, accelerating train means the train is moving. So you are sitting on the train. Which type of train? Moving train. And you are watching two boys. Means train is moving, boys are not moving. Okay, but it looks like boys are running. Like you are watching two boys run. So there, in that case, you are non-inertial frame of reference. Okay. So in next slide, it will be clear. See, next, sir. So what is the difference between inertial and non-inertial? So inertial reference frames are frames of reference, that is coordinate system, that are not accelerating. Means in inertial frame of reference, the particles are not moving. Okay, and this means the resultant force acting on the system is zero. Here force is zero. So according to Newton's second law, we have force equals to mass into acceleration. Okay. So here that are not accelerating. Here suppose if object is not accelerating, means acceleration is equals to zero. Then if acceleration is zero, we have the formula F equals to m into a. Then it is directly proportional to acceleration. Then we say if we substitute in that equation as acceleration equals to zero, what will get? Force is zero. So we can say the resultant force in inertial frame is zero. Now, non-inertial reference frame are simply those system of coordinates for which there is a resultant force acting, producing an acceleration. So in non-inertial frame, what happens here? One force is resultant force is acting on it, and that is unknown force. Okay, and which if force is acting, automatically the frame moves. Okay, frame moves means there is an acceleration. Okay, so that is the difference between so simply we can say if it is inertial frame of reference means object is not accelerating and force is equals to zero. Next, in non-inertial frame, we can say that object is accelerating and some force is acting on the object. Okay, so that is the main difference between the inertial and non-inertial frames. Okay, sir, next. Okay, so in this diagram, see, observe these two diagrams. These two are frames. One is S frame and one is S dash or S1. Okay, so these two frame of references we consider. So how can we say that which one is inertial and which one is non-inertial? So here we cannot derive like a single one. If first diagram is not present, it is impossible to derive which one is inertial and non-inertial. If second diagram is also, if it is not present here, we cannot derive. We cannot say with a single diagram. Okay, we need two diagrams in order to derive inertial and non-inertial frame. Okay, so now how we decide that which one is inertial and which one is non-inertial? So here we have to relate the two diagrams. Okay, two frames we can say. Okay, two frame of references we have to relate here. Then only we can say that we can decide which one is inertial and which one is non-inertial frame of reference. So suppose if you observe the first diagram, here you see uh, S frame of reference. Here force is equals to 0, acceleration is also 0. Here we don't have any particle. So let us consider a particle P in S dash frame of reference. Okay, so now according to S dash, we can say S is, so without particle also we cannot decide that it is inertial and non-inertial. Okay, inertial or non-inertial. So we need one particle. So here we are considering one particle P. Okay, in S dash frame. So now if we observe the S frame of reference, here S frame relative to S dash is known as what? It is known as inertial frame of reference. How? See, we considered particle and we have force here 0, acceleration 0. So relative to S dash frame, okay, S frame is known as inertial frame. Now, now if we observe S dash frame, here we have F equals to 0 and A dash is not equals to 0. Means acceleration in S dash frame occurs. Okay, so here the particle gets accelerated. If particle is getting accelerated means it is having force. Okay, their force is not equals to 0. So relative to S frame, okay, relative to S frame, we can say that S dash is a non-inertial frame of reference. Okay, by this we can decide which frame of reference is inertial or which frame of reference is non-inertial. Okay, so this is the example. Sir, next. So here it is explanation. See, here in frame S, force is 0. There is no force applied. Then acceleration is also 0 according to Newton's second law. That is, next, therefore, the frame S is known as inertial frame relative to S dash frame. Okay. Now, if we observe the frame S dash, force is 0, but acceleration is not equals to 0. Then the frame is known as non-inertial frame of reference. Okay. Understood? Okay. So now you may think then how it is possible. How it is possible is how it gets accelerated. Which type of force is acting on the non-inertial frame of reference? So it is because there is an unknown force acting on the particle and making it to accelerate. So we need to know about that unknown force. Okay, see here, it is very interesting. See, so this force is called pseudo force or false force. Okay, maybe you have studied this or not, like, but this is very interesting topic. Okay, uh, so listen. So here the unknown force is known as pseudo force or false force. For example, so what is pseudo force then? Meaning of pseudo is nothing but false. Okay, means force is occurring, but that is unknown to us. That's why we are calling that force as false force. For example, if you are traveling in a train, you observe the trees are moving, but actually what happens there? Trees are not moving. You are like you are also constant. What moving? Their train is moving. Okay. So simply it looks like trees are moving. Trees are moving means actually trees are not moving. So that type of force is what we call that force as pseudo force or false force. Actually, it does not occur. It does not exist actually. Okay. So that is pseudo force. And this is due to pseudo force. You may think that the trees are accelerating. Okay. So there is you think that trees are moving. That is trees are accelerating. Okay. So now next, sir, next. Okay. Now energy. Okay. Our topic is energy now. So frames of reference completed. That is brief explanation about frames of reference. Hope you all understood. Okay. And now energy. What is energy? Energy is nothing but um, ability to do work. Okay. If you don't have energy, you can't do work. So the ability to do work is nothing but energy. The combination of energy and matter make up the universe. Okay. What is matter then? Matter is nothing but which is having some mass and occupies some space. Okay. That is known as matter. Means in order to suppose you need to lift one book. Okay. The book is placed somewhere. If you think like if you assume that book is placed on a table and you need to lift the book. Okay. So you need some energy there. Okay. So that is you are doing work. You are lifting the book. So that is work. Okay. So the ability to do work is nothing but energy. And the book is called, that is book is having some mass, and we can say that book is what? Matter. Okay. Examples of matter you can consider like book, table, anything. Okay. Solid particles. Not only solid, liquid, gases, these all comes under matter. Okay. Liquid also occupies some space and having it occupies some space and having some weight. Okay. And similarly gases also. So these are matter. Okay. Properties of matter, these three are. So that is what is the point here? The combination of energy and matter make up the universe. That's our universe is what? It all made up of combination of energy and matter. So matter is a substance and energy is the mover of substance. Just now I explained. Matter is what? Substance. Okay. And the mover of substance is what? Energy. So if you don't have energy, you can't move the matter. So that is about matter and energy. So SI unit of energy is what? Joule. Okay. We can simply write in capital J. We can denote it by capital J. One example, see here, the sun is the source of energy for most of the life on earth. Okay, sun is also a source of energy. How? It gives sunlight, right? So means it is giving energy on earth, the life which is present on the earth. So that is one example for energy. Next we'll see the different types of energy. Sir, next slide. Okay, before going through that, we'll see what is law of conservation of energy. Hope you all heard about this. So, law of conservation of energy. See here, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It may be transformed from one form into another, but the total amount of energy never changes. Okay, that is law of conservation of energy. So, can you create energy? You can't. Or can you destroy? Okay. So it is invisible. Energy is what? Invisible. It can be felt. Okay. But it cannot be seen. So it may be transformed from one form into another. Like it is converted from kinetic energy to mechanical, likewise. So energy is transformed. Here, why it is law of conservation of energy? Conserved means totally taken. Okay. So why it is known as law of conservation of energy? So here, when we are transferring the energy from one form to another form, total energy gets transformed. Okay, it does not transfer some amount of energy and give back the some amount. No, the total amount of energy gets transferred. So that's why means it gets conserved. Okay, it gets used. So that is known as law of conservation of energy. But the total, see here, last point, but the total amount of energy never changes. Okay, the total amount of energy. Suppose you have 250 joules of energy, you are transferring to some another substance. Okay, that energy, total energy gets transferred. Okay, okay. So the total energy gets transferred. That is known as law of conservation of energy. Now, if you see examples, water produces electricity. That is one example of law of conservation of energy. And next, one more example. Water falls from the sky. Like just now here, heavy rainfall occurred. Okay. So how rain falls from, it falls from the sky. So the water falls from the sky, converting potential energy to kinetic energy. Okay, so from position to motion. So next we'll discuss about potential and kinetic energy. Potential energy is nothing but it is energy which possesses the position of the, which is caused by the position of the object, and kinetic energy is caused by the motion of the object. Okay, so that is about kinetic and potential energy. So here common forms of energy. So the I'm explaining about you examples of the law of conservation of energy. So here it is nothing but transfer of energy. So what happens when water water how water produces electricity? Through windmills. Okay, so there the total amount of water is used in order to produce the electricity. So that is one example for law of conservation of energy. here the total energy is conserved. So that is one example. See, common forms of energy includes kinetic energy, potential energy. Okay, so these two are common forms of energy. In potential energy, we have elastic potential energy, chemical potential energy, and gravitation potential energy. So let's discuss about these types of energy. Hope you are clear with law of conservation of energy. Okay. Okay, sir. Next. So now kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, simply we can say that it is energy of motion. Okay. That is the form of capable of doing work. So generally energy is what? The form of capable of doing work is nothing but energy. So energy of motion is what? Here kinetic energy. So we have formula for kinetic energy, that is half mv square. 1 by 2 into m into v square. Okay. So that is formula for kinetic energy. Here m is nothing but mass. V is what? Velocity. Okay. So examples for kinetic energy are flowing water and falling hammer, etc. So these are the examples for kinetic energy. So see, one question is there. Uh, if you want to write, you can note down. Okay, a car is traveling at velocity of 10 meter per second and it has a mass of 250 kg. Now compute its kinetic energy. So from the question, what you observe, clearly it is given that velocity is what? 10 meter per second. That is units of velocity is meter per second and mass 250 kg. Okay, so first you have to check whether it is in same system, like same standard system, MKS, VGS, SI. Okay, here it is in SI unit. Okay, so meter per second and kg. So it is okay. Now next you need to use the formula in order to get the kinetic energy of the car. Okay, so use the formula half into m into v square. So the answer will be, you will get the answer as 12,500 kg meter square per second square. Here velocity is what? V square. So that's why here we are having meter square per second square. So this is one example for kinetic energy. So this is a formula you need to use in order to solve the problems. Okay. So next, sir, next. Next, potential energy. Energy of position or energy in storage. So that is here kinetic energy is what? Energy of motion. What is potential energy? It is nothing but energy of position, or simply we can say that energy possessed by a body by virtue of its position relative to others. Okay, so that is known as potential energy. Formula for potential energy is m into g into h. Here m is what? Mass of the object or mass of the body. G is, this is universal gravitational constant, G. Okay, we discussed in last class. Okay, so value of G is what? Generally we take the value of G as 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, so this is G is what? Acceleration due to gravity. What is H here? H is height of the object, falling object. Now examples are water behind a dam, food on the plate, etc. These are the examples of potential energy. Now if we see the problem, a, ball of mass 0.8 kg is dragged in the upward direction on an inclined plane. So here what happens? A ball. We are dragging a ball in the upward direction. Okay, on an inclined plane. The mass of the ball is 0.8 kg. So what we have to calculate here? Calculate the total potential energy gained by this ball, given that the height of the wedge is 0.2 meter. Okay. So here also we have mass and height. Okay. So we need to find the potential energy. We have only two values here. See, so gravity here, gravitational like constant, acceleration due to gravity. We have taken 10 meter per second square. Okay, so for some problems they may give, if generally you need to take 10 meter per second square. For some problems, if they mention in bracket in the question, they will mention use g equals to 9.8 meter per second square. Then you need to use. If they ask only, you need to use 9.8 meter per second square. Otherwise, you must use the value of g as 10 meter per second square. So if we solve, okay, you solve in your notebook. So if after solving we get potential energy is 1.6 joule. Okay, so this is example for potential energy. So you need to remember this formula for potential energy and kinetic energy also, and in order to solve the problems. And suppose that is I told value of g. If they mention use g equals to 9.8 meter per second, then only you need to use. Otherwise, you can use 10 meter per second square. Okay. Okay, sir. Next. Okay, gravitational potential energy. So, what is this gravitational potential energy? Potential energy due to an object's position on the earth. Okay, so earth, we all know that earth is having gravitational force. Okay, so the object is the position of the object on earth. Okay, that causes energy that which that causes like it is position is what it causes, which type of energy? Potential energy. So that is nothing but it is on the earth, position is on the earth, so that type of energy is known as gravitational potential energy. So formula is same. Okay, PEG, because it is gravitational potential energy, we denote PEG, mass into gravity into height. Same formula is similar, but definition is somewhat like, if the position on the earth, that is known as gravitational potential energy. Okay, sir. Next. Now, fundamental forms of energy. So, few more energies you have. Let's see. Elastic potential energy. So, what is elastic potential energy? Potential energy due to compression or expansion of an elastic object. So, in the picture, if you see, there is a rubber band holding with two fingers. Okay, and expanding it. So the potential energy due to compression or expansion of elastic object is what? So some energy is occupied. Okay, some energy is applied there. Without energy, we can't expand. Okay, so that type of energy is known as elastic potential energy. Okay, some energy is applied there in order to expand the elastic or rubber band. Okay, so that is known as elastic potential energy. Compression means you can take the example of spring. Okay, if you compress means if you bring uh, like if you bring it near, okay, what happens there? You get, you are compressing it. Okay, compressing means all springs get attached to themselves. Then that is compressed. So that compression is also included in elastic potential energy. Okay, sometimes if you drag the spring with two hands, then it gets expanded. So that is about elastic potential energy. Next, chemical potential energy. So what is chemical potential energy? Within the chemical bonds of an object. So energy stored within the chemical bonds of an object. So what in the picture, what are these? These are batteries. Okay. So chemical bonds are present in the batteries. Which type of chemical bond is present? You can comment in the comment section. Okay. Uh, last after the lecture we'll discuss. Okay. So next, so that is chemical potential energy. So some fundamental forms of energy are completed. Now work. What is work? So work is done when a force is exerted over a distance. Simply we can say force applied is equals to work. Okay. So the amount of force we are applying is nothing but the amount of work done. So that is work, definition of work. See the what is the formula for work? Work is given by force into distance. The unit of work combines the unit of force with the unit of distance. Okay. So unit of force is what? Newton, and distance unit meter. So we can say simply Newton meter is the unit of work, or joule. Okay. Newton meter can also be written as joule. Okay, sir. Next. So by using the formula of work, we are solving a question. You carry a 20 kg suitcase upstairs, a distance of 4 meter. At a distance of 4 meter, how much work did you do? So you are carrying 20 kg suitcase upstairs. At a distance of distance of the upstairs is how much? It is 4 meters. So what is the work done by you? F equals to, you can directly substitute these values, 20 into 4. So you will get, so first what you need to do here, actually they are not given force. Okay, force is not given here. So first you need to find the force. So what are the values you are having here? Mass you have, and you have distance. So we know that gravitational force, like if the body is moving, like suitcase is moving or you are moving, so the amount of work done by you here, the question is what? The amount of work done by you is us, means uh, you are accelerating, you are moving. Okay, so acceleration due to gravity we need to consider here. So in order, according to Newton's second law, we have force equals to mass into acceleration. Here acceleration is what? Acceleration due to gravity. So first we need to find the force, that is m into a. Here acceleration is what? But here m into a, this is formula for Newton's second law. But here what is a actually? We need to take a equals to g here. So that is value of g is 10 meter per second square. So we got the force value, 200 newtons. Now we have force and distance. Substitute in work equals to force into distance. So the answer will be 800 joule. So that is about work. Sir, next, power. So what is power? So in order to measure the work, we need power. Okay. So the definition is it measures the rate of work done or the rate at which energy is expended. So we are expending some amount of energy. At which rate we are expending that amount of energy? So in order to know that, that is, we have to know about the power. Okay. So that is nothing but power. So also we can say that power is amount of work done divided by the time. So that is nothing but here formula you can see power equals to work by time. So units of power is watts we can say, and work is joules, and time we can say seconds. Okay. So these are the units of power, work and time. Formula for power is work by time. Same, work performed equals energy expended. So power equals to energy by time also we can write. Okay. Work is what? It is nothing but amount of energy applied or force. So in the place of work, we can also write energy by time. Okay. So that is one more formula for power. Now, see, the what is defined. What is what then? It is defined as the expenditure of 1 joule of energy in 1 second. In brackets, if you see, 75 watt light bulb consumes 75 joule per second. Okay. So this is what power. So 75 watt, that is power. How much energy is consuming? 75 joule per second amount of energy is consumed by 75 watt light bulb. That is one example for watt. What is watt actually? So what is the unit of power? Sir, next. See this question. Your CD system uses 250 watts of electric power. You play it for 3 hours. How much energy used? About how much would it cost if 1 kilowatt hour is 0.08 rupees? So here first we need to calculate what? Energy. So we have energy equals to power into time. How we consider this? So power equals to energy by time. So if we bring power, like if we bring time towards this, you will get, see, first you write power equals to energy by time. Then we need energy here. We don't have energy. We have power and time. So here we need to take the time. Okay, kilowatt hour na. So uh, actually, sorry, it is not seconds here. Time, that is hours we have to take, because the question is in kilowatt hour. So first we need to find the energy, then cost. Okay. So why we are finding energy? Because in the question they have already given us power. So energy equals to 250 into 3 hours. So we'll get 750 watt hour. Okay. So to convert it in kilowatt hour, we need to, what we have done here, just multiply with, sorry, just divide with 1000. Okay. Kilo means 10 cube. Sorry, 10 power minus 3 here. We have to, kilo means actually it is 1000. But here we need to convert it into kilo. Means we have to divide with 10 cube. Okay. We are dividing with 10 cube. It means 1000. Means from right we need to move to 3 decimals. So 057. Put decimal there, then 0.75 kilowatt hour is the answer for energy. Now the cost. How we calculate the cost? So 8 paisa, okay, per kilowatt into 0.75 kilowatt. That is 8 rupees means we see here. You observe, if you observe what we have done here, 8 rupees. 0.08 rupees means if we convert it into paisa, how much it is? 8 paisa. Okay. So what we did here, to convert rupees to paisa, just we need to multiply with 100. Okay. If we multiply to 100, we'll get 8 paisa. So 0.08 rupees is nothing but 8 paisa into how much energy we got. So that is total. If we calculate, you will get 6 paisa. Okay. So that is the question or example of power. Okay. Next. Some important formulas and units you have seen. See if you see quantity, observe, or if you want to note down, you can note it. Quantity, force, mass into acceleration, units are Newton. Work, force into distance, units are joules. Energy, energy definition is what? Power into time, and the units are joules. Power, work by time, and the units are watts. So next, now mechanical energy. So what is mechanical energy? Energy due to object's motion or position is known as mechanical energy. As you all know that motion energy due to motion is what? Kinetic energy, and energy due to position is potential energy. So the combination of these two energies is nothing but mechanical energy, or we can say total energy. Okay. So example is the bowling ball has mechanical energy. When the ball strikes the pins, mechanical energy is transferred to the pins. Okay. So first they are having what? Potential energy, means they are having in position. When ball strikes the pin, what happens? There is a motion in the balls. Then we can say there is a mechanical energy which is transferred to the pins. That is example for mechanical energy. So next, what is electromagnetic energy? Electromagnetic energy is a form of energy that is reflected or emitted from objects in the form of electrical and magnetic waves that can travel through the space. Okay, so that is what electromagnetic energy. Example, see here down we have micro oven. So micro oven, how it is like, how we can say this is the example of electromagnetic energy. So whatever the energy present in micro oven, or we how, like if we are heating our food, baking our food or anything, so that is due to electromagnetic waves. Okay, and the electromagnetic waves of range 0.001 meter to 0.3 meter. Okay, the range in micro oven, range of electromagnetic waves is how much? 0.001 meter to 0.3 meters. So more examples you have: radio waves, infrared radiation, visible light, that is all colors of spectrum that we see, ultraviolet light, X-rays, and gamma radiation, etc. So next, electrical energy. Energy caused by the movement of electrons. Okay, so energy which is caused by the movement of electrons, that is electrical energy. Easily transported through power lines and converted into other forms of energy. So below you can see that is example for electrical energy. So next. chemical energy. So energy which are releasing from the chemical reactions. That type of energies are called as chemical energy. For example, chemical bonds in a matchstick store energy that is transformed into thermal energy when the match is struck. Okay, if we are striking the match to the matchbox, then we'll get a fire. That fire is what? Thermal energy. Okay, so from it is converted from chemical energy. So we are using here chemical energy to produce the thermal energy. Next, thermal energy. Okay, the thermal energy or heat energy, we can say, it determines how active its atoms are. So here you see, um, we are heating a pan. Okay, so what happens here? Heat is transferred to the pan, and the material which is present in the pan or water that gets boiled or heated, then will get evaporation. Okay, water vapor comes, like water vapor rises. Okay, so rising of water vapor is what? Evaporation. So in this picture, if you observe, you have latent heat, convection, conduction, and radiation. Hope you all know these terms, but once again we'll discuss about this in a short. See, what is latent heat? Latent heat means what? Conversion of solid to liquid or gases. Okay, or conversion of liquid to gases or vapor, we can say. But there is one condition. The main thing in latent heat is what? Without changing in the temperature. So here what happens? There is a conversion takes place from solid to liquid and liquid to vapor. But there should not be change in the temperature. So boiling of water, we can say. So if you put that water in another container, temperature is not changing. Okay, or water converts to vapor. Okay, vapor is also having the same temperature as the water. So there the temperature is not changing. So we can take the example as boiling of water, and one more is melting of ice, you can say. Okay, so as ice melts, then water is still, its temperature is same. When it is ice, it is how much cold it is, the same coolness is present when it melts. So the temperature must not change. Okay, but the state changes, like liquid to vapor or solid to liquid. So that is known as latent heat. Next, what is conduction? Transmission of heat, that is nothing but conduction. So radiation is what? Radiation is nothing but emission of energy as electromagnetic waves. See here, it is radiation is going like waves. So emission of energy like electromagnetic waves is known as radiation. One more, you have convection. What is convection? So that is nothing but movement of the molecules within the material or within the fluid. So here you see in the pan you have water. So there is a movement of molecules within the fluid. So that is known as convection. So these are the brief like definitions of these terms. Okay. So up to here today's lecture is finished. Thank you. In the last lecture, one doubt is asked by a student. What is apparent force?